everyone, and welcome to this edition of JaxParks TV. I'm Pam Roman.
And I'm Garrett Teague. Can you believe it's almost 2014 already?
I know, right? We were looking back at all the subjects that we covered since JPTV started about a year and a half ago. And we thought this would be the perfect opportunity to glimpse back at some of our favorite pieces and highlight some of the stories that viewers commented on the most.
So here we go. We talk a lot in JPTV about reconnecting people with their parks, or in some cases, connecting them for the first time.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, the first story in the very first episode of JaxParks TV that aired in August 2012 was the announcement of Mayor Brown's People Parks Connection. Let's see how we've done so far.
This past summer, we invited you to celebrate the opening of William H. Sheffield Regional Park. If you remember, it was a long time coming. Several city departments, former and current council members, and the mayor's office all played roles in developing the site. But it was the combined efforts of some local nonprofits that put the final pieces in place. Cash station volunteers cleared trails. Volunteers from Greenscape and Claire White Mission donated and planted trees, and the Ocean Way Sports Association worked on the athletic field. As Mayor Brown would say, it's a great example of a public-private partnership in action.
You know, the government can't do it alone, so we need that public-private partnership. You know, the business community, the civic community, everybody investing in their quality of life in our city, and that's what this is all about.
We also featured the Waterproof Jacksonville campaign. As part of People Parks Connection, Waterproof's goal was to reduce accidental drowning by encouraging people to learn to swim and by making lessons available to kids who might not otherwise be able to afford them. Before the end of the summer, more than a dozen swim agencies and other partners joined JaxParks and Safe Kids Northeast Florida to collectively provide free swim lessons to more than 700 kids and intermediate swim lessons to 300 more.
The really neat thing about this particular public-private partnership is that the city isn't asking these organizations for money to help pay for programs. The city's saying, give us your time, give us your talent to help these kids and even adults learn how to swim to make our city safer.
Sierra Club of Northeast Florida is another People Parks Connection partner. We tagged along with the group last spring during one of its monthly hikes. This one through Camp Milton Historic Preserve. This is one of several second Saturday hikes the Sierra Club hosted through several preservation sites.
The Sierra Club has a long history of introducing people to the outdoors, and we're very delighted to have the opportunity to do this with the city.
People Parks Connection also made it easier for us to enjoy Jacksonville's waterways. Under the initiative, we celebrated more than 20 newly designated kayak launch sites. Local outfitters partnered with us to provide tips for beginners and folks new to the area in our Kayaking 101 video series. And more than 50 local paddlers turned out to celebrate the downtown edition of the Greater Jacksonville Paddling Guide.
So this guide actually started when Mayor Brown announced the new kayak and canoe launches in downtown Jacksonville. That's what gave us the idea to focus on this part of the river. So we loved it when the city came out with that idea. And partnering through the city is always great for us because they have all the information, they know where the parks are, they keep them up, and we think that activities like this will encourage people to come out and help the city do these types of things. And any time that the city and a private organization like ours can work together on something, that's going to be good for everybody.
Last but certainly not least, we rolled up our sleeves alongside the Southern Off-Road Biking Association, REI retailers, members of our military, and others to clear approximately 24 miles of biking and walking trails in two of our favorite parks, Hannah and Tilly K. Fowler.
We're really happy to hear that the mayor wants to do a lot of stuff with parks and with trails, and that's what we've been working on to improve those. And it's actually helped us a lot, moved forward our projects that we're working on, and we've actually put some new projects on the table that we want to do in the future. So we're looking forward to those.
These are just a few examples of how residents have connected with our parks over the last year and a half. And think about this, we've only just begun.
My future goal is to make sure that our parks continue to improve. We have the largest urban park system in the country. I want to make sure we have the best park system in the country. And so continuing to invest and work with the private sector and the not-for-profit community to continue to do well.
JaxParks TV also plays a role in connecting you with our parks.
Absolutely. It's our job to bring you as much information we can about your parks. Then you, your family, and friends can connect in the way that's best for you.
And it's definitely connected me with our parks. From intern to full-time JPTV member, I've traveled all over Jax, capturing plenty of action over the last 18 episodes. So grab your board, bike, backpack, paddle, and hang on tight.
Wow, it still amazes me how many activities we have in Jacksonville's parks.
Yeah, me too. Maybe one day I'll put the camera down long enough to try them out.
Okay, but you have to at least have some favorite parks, right?
Oh yeah. There's the Cecil Recreation Complex with a huge indoor aquatic center that hosts swim meets, open swim, and classes. Plus, there are a ton of multi-purpose trails at the park.
Well, one of my favorites is Confederate Park in Springfield. There's the obvious historic factor, of course, but I also love the new playground area, which, by the way, makes me wish I was a kid again. And this dog park. I took my dog there the day it opened, and we both loved it.
Well, Huguenot's another one I won't forget. It's the only place in Jax that you can drive your car right up on the beach. Plus, it has camping, fishing, and the nature center.
Well, speaking of nature, another park I really like is Castaway Island Preserve. You know I'm an animal person, right? So I love the nature trail that has footprints of various Northeast Florida animals and signs that tell you about them. And of course, the views across the Intercoastal from the boardwalk and the kayak launch are amazing.
Another small park that made an impact was Ready Point Preserve back when I was a lowly intern. There's the awesome panoramic view, and Gene took us out to find the gopher tortoise. Of course, we could have picked about 380 more favorites, but we'll save that for next year.
And I can't wait. I hope you can't either. One thing that is really cool about being a part of JPTV is getting to cover all the special events that JaxParks has throughout the year. Let's roll through a few right now.
These are highlights from JaxParks' annual Art in the Park. The event celebrated its 10th year this past October. Partners and venues have changed, but the mission remains the same. Provide activities that let participants get hands-on. Some of the more popular ones are painting and drawing, basket weaving, and one of my favorite, paper making. Art in the Park is also popular for its multicultural interactive entertainment, like Zumba, last year's hot hula, and everyone's favorite, belly dancing. Another event that's always fun to cover is our Tri-Jax Challenge Triathlon. I am always inspired by how much effort kids and adults put into this competition. Sometimes the determination is just so visible on their faces, and those finish line celebrations are always great to see. Remember these highlights from JaxParks' annual Living History Weekend at Camp Milton Historic Preserve? The annual event depicts Jacksonville circa 1864. Camp Milton is a former Civil War camp, so spectators had a chance to watch reenactments of skirmishes that took place here between Union and Confederate soldiers, and also had a glimpse into an authentic settlers' camp. There were cooking demonstrations, sewing, even the fashions of the time. And I have to say that dressing back then seemed a little bit complicated. Well, what look back at events would be complete without my favorite, JaxParks' annual Worldwide Day of Play. This event usually takes place the last Saturday in September. That's when the Nickelodeon channel goes black for 3 hours to encourage kids to go outside and play. Sometimes at these events, I'm not sure who has more fun, the kids, the volunteers, or the staff. Remember some of these scenes? The pajama pants relay, the parachute game, instant beard competitions, musical pies, and lots of green slime. Of course, I have my own history with this event.
Every year I come out to Worldwide Day of Play, and every year I get slimed. This year, I'm ready for them. Here they come, here they come. They got me!
We've talked about all the action. We've checked out some of our great events. But for those who love team sports, get ready for the competition. Remember Team 904? They're as competitive as it gets. These teens hailed from all over Jax, and Boone Park is their practice place of choice as they prepare to regularly represent the state of Florida in the USTA National Championship. Another sport highlighted was our Pop Warner Football League. This youth football program teaches Jax kids about the game, teamwork, and has produced professional players, most notably Tim Tebow. We also stopped by Cuba Hunter Gymnasium to check out JaxParks' annual Youth Basketball League. It's a great opportunity for kids to be active, safe, and have fun shooting hoops from January to March. One of the coolest games I saw was on the same court, Power Soccer. These guys and gals went all out trading paint to get the W. One thing I learned is that competition doesn't stop when you get older. For these adults, age is just a number at JaxParks. Softball teams came from all over the country to compete in the SPA World Series, some even in their 70s.
And we have been competing since 1989. We started as a 50 team, and we've graduated. We've graduated up to 70 plus.
And who could forget this? The senior games had everything from track and field, pickleball, weightlifting, and more to show that people can stay active and healthy throughout their lives.
That we can still participate in a competitive sport, and that in itself is its own reward.
Well, we couldn't let our first Look Back show go by without recognizing all the folks that worked on the set with us to help bring you information about JaxParks.
So here's a quick shout out to Jacksonville University graduate Greg Van Okel, University of North Florida student Amel Kamel, Douglas Anderson graduate Jordan Middleton, and former JPTV co-host Jamie Curlew. Last but certainly not least, let's take a look back at some of the memorable moments that touched us the most.
That's right. Some of them made us laugh, some made us cry, and some just stuck in our heads. Like this episode of Nutrition Kitchen. I'll never forget these cute kids that bit off a little more than they could chew.
Or when I got my first chance to shoot video at a national sporting event for Jacksonville's Week of Valor.
Oh, we were all so proud of you.
This next one was pretty amazing to me as a soccer player with what these athletes have had to overcome.
And what about some of the more memorable sound bites, like young Reggie Clark talking with us about his neighborhood during Worldwide Day of Play?
What I think about this Nickelodeon event, I think it's kind of cool for like people like me. My father, he don't want me to go outside because what's happening, killing around, but it's good for me so I can burn out some of the energy that we do around and always be hyped. So it's really good and healthy for us.
Another one of my favorite sound bites is Jean Schubert talking about the Black Widow, and she says it with such a straight face.
We have both the black widow and the brown widow here in Northeast Florida, and they have the potential to kill human beings. But only 1% of the people will actually die if bitten, and you have to try hard to be bitten. Don't do that, though.
Another moment for me was spinning a game with the Miracle League that gives these kids a chance to play ball.
Oh, I remember this story got everyone a little teary-eyed. And this next one really opened up the waterworks.
It's when we all met Charity. She was competing in her first triathlon. It was definitely a struggle for her to get through the 3 events, but she so inspired everyone at the race that they joined in to help her across the finish line.
Wow, some of those moments still give me goosebumps.
Yeah, we had some pretty good moments here, and we hope to bring you more in 2014.
That's right, so stay connected with us. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, and Google+.
And don't forget about JaxParks.com and JaxParksTV.com.
So from us to you, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Kwanzaa, and a Happy Ramadan.
And we'll see you here next year, but until then, we'll see you in the parks. I've traveled all over Jax, capturing all the episodes. Let's do this. Pam, hold it together.
Me?
Have your backpack, bike, forward paddle, forward bike, backpack, paddle. Forward bike, backpack, paddle. All right. That feels good.